Welcome to the Hybrid Soul with Kelly Kinkaid. Today, I heard this voice before I connected it with the name. She's all natural, no gimmicks. My guest today is Vaughn. Welcome to the show.
I see what you did there.
You know what I mean?
How you doing?
I'm good. How has this journey been for you so far?
It's been incredible. It's been a wild journey. I mean, from being a little girl who just used to bang on the keys and have a desire to make music and travel the world and just expanding my gift to being here now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I'm so blessed.
I ran into you recently and you were telling me you were going to an award show. And so you're experiencing like your first things.
So many firsts.
How is that feeling?
It's crazy. It's surreal. I mean, I just did this. I just went to the Soul Train Awards this past weekend, and I also performed at the Femme at Ford Gala. Yes. And these were my first red carpets. And, you know, there were so many times where I used to watch these on television or just see them from my phone. So to be part of such big moments, it's incredible. It's crazy.
You know, you're my type of girl because you're so relatable. And I want to talk about your current project, The Hurt Book. Okay. But I want to take the listeners back to where you're from, PG County. You're from the DMV.
I am.
And, you know, we have a lot of different artists coming from there. But when I listen to your music, it's so relatable because I actually thought you were from the West Coast because you live out there now. And it's just this amazing R&B booming thing for me with all different artists. I love that I consider you a DIY girl because you set up the AV sessions starting out, but you're from the DMV. How did you get into music?
It's always been music for me. My grandmother used to have a piano in her home. So when we used to get babysat and go over there, I would just always find my way on the piano, just banging out keys. And it's just always been an attraction to music. I used to always hum when I chewed my food. It's just always been music. It was one of those things that just we found our ways to each other.
I feel like I already know this question, but you come from the church?
I don't come from the church. I mean, I have a relationship with God, of course, but no, I didn't grow up in the church.
Where did all that soul come from?
I would have to say it just came from being in the backseat of my parents' cars, listening to the music that they would play, just being from the DMV. It's just a lot of soul, wit, character, just being from where I'm from.
Musical influences.
If I had to just say my top 5, because there's a lot of influences, I would say Stevie Wonder, Amy Winehouse, Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys, Jill Scott, Kanye West, Whitney Houston, and Missy Elliott.
Nice. I would have thrown Anita Baker with you too as well. I love the Hurt Book the Hurt Book project because when I listen to it, I can find somebody I dated that I can relate to that. And it's a solid project.
Thank you.
And when you look at the credits, because I do love that, you worked with some incredible people. Yes. And one, for example, is the legend Rodney Jerkins. How did that happen with So Be It?
So Rodney actually produced 3 songs off the project. He did So Be It, he did Do You Ever, and I'm Leaving. And so at first we were looking for production for I'm Leaving, and they sent it to Rodney, and he was like, oh yeah, like I like her, I want to work with her. And I'm like, me? So I went down to Orlando to go to his studio, and we just had a vibe immediately. And I blinked my eyes, and we made a lot of music, but So Be It was one of the songs that came from those sessions.
I have questions for each song, but the concept of the Hurt Book, how did that come about?
It definitely came from just being hurt.
Yeah.
You know, at first when I started on the project, it was about a romantic situation between me and a person and just all the turns that came with that. But I realized that hurt was not coming solely from that. It was starting to bleed into friendships, not that, but just life was starting to affect friendships and my relationship with myself. And I didn't feel like these were things that were about to break me or change me for the worse. It just means that these are things that are happening and part of the story.
I love some of the interludes because towards the end of the album, it goes, I'm not broken, I'm just hurt. Yeah. You know, I love that. Was it a therapeutic time for you?
Yeah, it's a therapeutic process, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Learning that you're hurt and not broken shows that it's okay to feel those feels because you know that you're not broken. And feeling those feels is a process, but it's a good process into getting to that next chapter. So,
I was talking about, and I said you're relatable because what girl can't relate to lame ass, I'm gonna keep it clean, Negroes. Lame ass Negroes. I love when I go see you perform, I'm gonna be in that section to do that chant.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Demon Time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I really love that song. How did that come about, writing that and just the concept?
So that was a session with myself and DJ Camper, one of my good friends and super talented producer, and one of my good friends, Reggie Beckton, who's a songwriter and an artist. But we were just in the studio and I was like, yo, the project needs something sexy. And I was kind of like in a text conversation with the person and they were trying to hang out, but I was never available when they were trying to hang out. But then I was like, I'm trying to see them when I come to town and see if they're gonna be available. And I was like, let's just see what happens. And then I just blinked my eyes and then Demon Time came about.
I love it. It's one of my favorite tracks. Let's talk about So Be It with Rodney Jerkins.
Yes.
Love that. I really can relate. I got about 3-4 So Be It's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did that come from? Like, is that a personal thing? Did you all like flub a little bit on that storyline?
No. Every song is personal.
Yeah.
Every single song is personal. So Be It was probably one of the most personal songs because that was my first time experiencing a friend breakup, which is like significantly worse than a romantic breakup. And it hurt so bad that I really wanted to just turn to like, we're not like, it's bad terms, but we didn't end on bad terms. Things just started changing because things changed. And I felt like So Be It was just the best way to articulate that I am doing the best that I can and I've done the best that I could, but I can't put any more into this because it's not helping me or it's not adding to me. It's time to move on to the next chapter.
I get it. I get the whole Hurt book. I was like, I could do a Hurt book. Let's take it back to the AV sessions and 4 p.m. Mix album. So I said earlier that you are a DIY girl. You were singing. You're classically trained because you play the piano.
Yes.
And you started the AV sessions. How did that start?
So back in 2018 was when I first started dibble-dabbling with LA. And in one of my first weeks, my publicist and I, we went to an open mic in LA. And the entire atmosphere was just insane. And I was like, there's nothing like this in DC.
Yeah.
And I just thought about when I was coming up in DC, trying to figure out how to create my network and my circle and just grow, and where can I get that performance experience? And there weren't those places unless, you knew someone who knew someone. So, she and I joined forces and I spoke with the guy who ran the open mic in LA just to get some pointers. And then we just brought it to the DMV and just brick by brick, creating progress. And now it's been almost 5 years.
Wow, that's beautiful. I actually, in Harlem, I did a artist showcase. And one of my, I guess, moments is there was someone who said, can you please get this guy who's dope from Ohio named John Stevens on here? And I'm like, sure, why not? Who's John Legend? So I understand the whole art. It's a bubbly feeling every time when I see him, just to be a part of that. But I like it because you're so giving, because you could have just been focused on me, like AV Sessions is just me. Every week, every month.
And I never wanted it to be about me. Like, I wanted it to really be about the DMV artist community.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get those experiences or to get people to bet on you or to even just get your 10,000 hours and to get on whatever stage you want to get on. So I just wanted to create that space.
So you started off as an independent, but recently, has it been a year anniversary with Love Renaissance?
Yes.
What made you go for that decision to join a label?
Well, it was all pretty divine. Like, I wasn't seeking to be signed. It was very organic and natural. And, you know, one thing that I appreciate about LVRN is that I can make eye contact with every single person.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can tell that they're really here for the art and they want to help cultivate and elevate who you are and not change who you are. And, you know, those are one of the things that you're nervous about when you think about labels. They take all your rights or they try to make you become something you're not. So they gave me that comfort, and I feel like this is an age and a stage where I'm like able to really like appreciate and take proper care of an opportunity like this. So, and here we are.
It's some good people over there too. I
Yeah.
really love what they're doing, and for them to partner with you to do stuff, I'm looking forward to more. What has been your favorite thing to date that you've experienced on this journey?
This is going to sound really broad, but all of the lessons that I've learned and all of the like the rough moments that I've experienced since signing, this is everything that I prayed for. You know, it's never just the presented final product of what you pray for. It's the process. And everything that I've experienced, I feel myself growing and I feel myself becoming wiser and a little bit more sharp and still like myself, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I'd say probably just all the lessons that I've learned. And one of the lessons being like, it's okay to feel how you feel and to feel that.
It's a lot. Let's start back at the 4 p.m. mix. What made you knew that you wanted to sing, but what made you start and say, I'm gonna put this project together?
So when I started working on the 4 p.m. mix, it was maybe some months after I'd left school and my parents were super upset. And I wasn't really worried about that because I was like, I want to be an artist. I don't know what that looks like. I need to figure it out. And at the time, I was just like, I just want to make just a chill project about the weekend, getting off work, and not too early, not too late. I was like, what time is it? It's like 4 p.m. And that project was created in about 6 months. And, you know, it showed my parents that like, okay, Alex is gonna do things no matter who stops her, no matter what. And, you know, in time they started like getting with the program. And the 4 p.m. mix was definitely the beginning of a lot.
And you moved cross country. What did you say to yourself like, I'm gonna do it?
I have no idea. I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to pursue music. And I just feel like in knowing that, there's just like this little thing in my brain that's just like, make it happen, figure it out, make it happen, figure it out. And it's gotten me there. Now, specifically the pandemic, and flights being like buy one, get one free is what got me to LA for real.
Right.
But really, like, as soon as it made sense to come out here, I just came. And every time it's made sense.
So I'm gonna track this journey. So you were home in school, you had your AV sessions, packed up, moved to LA. You were doing background singing. How did you start working with the industry?
So my mom has a good friend. He's like a musical director and he is always coordinating shows and just directing music.
Yeah.
So he was probably like my first entryway into doing gigs. I used to sing background with Mamouna Youssef or Mumu Fresh.
Yes.
Mumu. She's killing it. I used to sing background for Goapele and Cece Peniston and Nathan East.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Like 19.
Wow. What would you tell your 19-year-old self now in that process?
Let me just say the 19-year-old me was way goofier than this. What would I tell my 19-year-old self?
Great job.
Great job. Good job. Stay down. Stay down, because there were definitely some hard moments at 19, which sounds crazy, like, yeah, you're 19. But like, there were some rough moments as a creative, like I was just leaving school. Stay down.
You believed in yourself.
Yeah.
What would you tell someone listening to this interview now who, great writer, great singer, but, you know, their feet is kind of have an anchor on it in Midtown, mid in the Midwest or wherever, with big dreams?
Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. But sometimes you have to push yourself off the diving board. Not saying to the person in the Midwest the solution is to move to LA, but you know what you want. You know when you're being a little scared or being a little timid with yourself. Go with your pace, but definitely know what you're capable of. Like, don't be afraid to push yourself a bit. I know that I'm in the process of doing that still. Like, you know, I know my capabilities, I know my gift, but at the same time, I still question it sometimes, which is insane. But it's human. So, you know, I give myself grace and don't shame myself for having those feelings, but also remembering, like, girl, you're in this position, you have these gifts, you love what you do, that's why you keep making these songs.
Yeah.
So to lean in that.
Yeah. I feel like you are a good girlfriend as far as with your girls.
I try.
Is there, because I love the talking song, and the interludes, I was like, no, her crew is probably like my crew, where we are really supportive, and it was like, hold your head up. And in the interlude, it was like, we're like our daddies. Are you a daddy's girl?
I am a daddy's girl.
Me too. Me too. Me too. How proud are your parents right now of you?
My parents are my biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
My dad especially, which is so funny because when I was first deciding like I didn't want to leave school, he and I were butting heads really bad. But they're totally in full support. They're my favorite people to cheer me on.
Favorite song from the Hurt Book?
My favorite song from the Hurt Book? I like Demon Time. I like Demon Time. I like So Be It. I'm on to name every single song.
Absolutely.
Do You Ever? I say those are my top.
The project is a solid project, because this is technically your debut album. Technically, with Love Renaissance, with a bigger push, correct?
Yes.
What is in store?
More.
Yeah.
Just more music, just more visibility. Like, I'm gonna be doing more performing, just be on your TV screen more, I don't know, on the commercial, on the radio, anywhere you can think, where else could I see a person?
Yeah.
Is where Alice Vaughn's about to be.
I love it. Let's see, what else I wanted to ask you while I have you here now. Any people that you want to work? So I know that you worked with like IDK and Wale and some other people, Odd Mojo. I love that song as well. Are there any people on your wish list that you want to work with?
There's a lot of OGs I'd love to work with. I love to work with Missy Elliott. I love to work with Pharrell. I would love to do anything with Jill Scott, Alicia Keys, Thundercat. Honestly, just anyone who's just amazing at what they do and has a good vibe to them.
You ready. I've had the pleasure to see you on stage. You're ready, and your future is so bright. You are keeping R&B alive.
Thank you.
I'm looking for more music from you because I love that you already have a catalog, but just don't stop. Don't stop. And I want to thank you for coming with the Hybrid Soul. Until the next time, and when you come back, we got to get you to perform.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. It's the Hybrid Soul with Kelly Kinkaid. My special guest is Alex Vaughn. Until next time.